Всем привет! I've got a question after I made a video about Russians' attitude to America, about the Finland, and my first reaction was that I don't really know what to tell, and I thought that it's so strange because I am partly Finnish, because a big part of my family is Finnish. I've been in Finland so many times, and I live not so far from Finnish border, and yeah, that's really strange because the big part of Russia is not big, but not small at least, is quite close to Finland. But I understood that Finnish culture is not represented so well in Russia, and I felt really strange because of this. I would say that Finnish culture represented the best through churches, Lutheran churches. My father, for example, he was a Lutheran person. He wasn't a religious guy or something, and my grandmother and my great-grandmother, but they were from this Lutheran church, and usually these churches, they are close to some Finnish communities, Finnish culture. But I remembered that before sanctions and all this stuff, for Russians, Finland was a very significant place to visit. Firstly, because Russian shopping in Finland, for example, in my region, it's a very popular thing to go to Finland in my and in neighborhood region to just for shopping for one day, to buy Finnish goods, because there is a good quality, and the shops with Finnish goods are also popular in Russian regions which are close to Finland. So there are people who just go there every week, buy a lot. It was before, of course, before sanctions, and brought it to Russia and sold here. I remember when I was a kid, my mom and I, we just came to one woman in the flat, and she had lots of goods in this flat, and she sold it to my mom. And also sometimes she came out, this woman, she came out on the street, put the blanket on the earth and put all the goods there and just sold it like that. Of course, it all was not official. I just mean that it was a very popular thing. Also, there were usual shops. I mean, the building, the small building like a shop with goods from Finland. Also, trips to Finland were quite popular for getting visa. For example, before sanctions, to go to Europe from Russia, you needed to get visa, and there were different types of visas. For example, you could get visa not just in one country, but in a group of European countries, and it was very popular to get Schengen visa in Finnish embassy. And they gave you this visa, but you needed to open it in the country of embassy which gave it to you. That's why people went to Finland, because it's better not to have problems then, that you got the visa from this country and didn't use it and went with this visa to different country. And it was called to open the visa to go to Finland, again, just for one day, for shopping, or not one day, it's on your choice. There were lots of businesses driving people like this, buses, minibuses, legal or not legal. So they opened visa like that, spent some time in Finland, maybe one day, maybe more, for shopping, for traveling, for something, and then came back, and after this they could use this Schengen visa to travel somewhere else in Europe. So that was quite popular, and I can say that I've been in Finland lots of times, in Helsinki, in Turku, in Naantali, in Espoo, and maybe somewhere else. I have relatives in Finland, many, by the way, and but I don't know Finnish language. Maybe I know kitas, that means thank you. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, kuksi, kaksi, kolme, neljä. I know huomenta, good morning, and I think that's it. And when I was a kid, my grandma, she sang me the song about piggies, which was Finnish, and it was like Porsetta aiti omme kaikki, omme kaikki, omme kaikki. Porsetta aiti omme kaikki, omme kaikki, omme kaikki. Sinä ja minä, sinä ja minä. And that was, if I'm not mistaken, about piggies who are in the mud, and Sina Yamina, that means me and you. I'm not sure, but this is as I remember it. When the Soviet Union was over, it was a possibility for my family to, for my father and for my grandmother, to get Finnish citizenship, because they were ethnical Finnish people, but for some reason they didn't get it. I don't remember why, but they could. So that's it, actually. I know that people in my region, they loved very much Finnish goods because they had a good quality Finnish fish, Finnish nature, because it's like nature in our region, but it's so clean there. I remember when we crossed the border and you could feel it in one moment, because you saw that everything is so clean, so accurate, and that's interesting, unusual. I don't know if Finnish people like Russians or not, because I felt that Russian can behave very different, not because even they are bad or something, just in our culture it's not, how to say it, we're not taught to be so close to rules, to follow rules so much, and to be so strictly into the rules as Finnish people. And I felt this contrast every time when we were in Finland, and people who told me about this experience, they told me the same. One classmate once told me that his family and him, they were in the train, and his young brother, who was maybe 3 years old, he started to throw the food on the floor, and my classmate was afraid that Finnish police going to get them to prison or something like this. So sometimes I felt that locals maybe don't really like us, but I could understand why, because sometimes Russians really can behave very different with them and not really following the rules, but that's because they don't know these rules and they are not used to it. So I understand why they were irritated, and I understand why Russians behave like that. But I know that there were anyway a lot of businesses in Finland connected with Russian tourism, and I don't know how they are now, because since the COVID there were no Russian tourists there, almost no, and of course now there are not too. So I don't know how these cities who are close to the Russian border, because I know there were lots of shops and all that stuff just for these Russian tourists. So something like this. How Russians perceive Finland, I think they perceive Finland as a very, very calm place, very calm and quiet place, and with a slow time flowing or something. I can't say that Russians feel bad for Finland or something, no. But I'm really surprised that when I understand that we are really so close to each other. I mean, these regions, northwest regions and Finland, but our cultures are so different, and it's so interesting to think about it, that it is like that. Despite there are lots of ethnical Finnish people in my region, in my place of living. Of course, most of them are old now or already dead, but still. But yes, it's really surprising that Finnish culture is not so represented, and I don't know why it happened like that. But I think because in Soviet Union it was not so well to be a foreigner, and for example my grandma, she didn't show it really well. She was very proud to be Finnish, but she couldn't show it so much because she was afraid for this. But still, there are many other cultures in Russia, even coming abroad, and they are represented quite well. Maybe because they are from post-Soviet countries, I don't know. But Finnish culture, yeah, I can't say a lot about it, unfortunately. Even despite I even visited Finnish kindergarten when I was 3-4 years old. Maybe that was the time when my father wanted to get this Finnish citizenship. So something like this. I hope that was interesting, because I'm really sorry that I can't tell much about this, but I told everything which existed in my life connected with Finland. And I anyway hope that it was interesting and informative for you. So thank you for watching, and пока-пока.